Hey, what's going on, guys? RDDC here. I know it's been a minute since I've done a video, but today we're gonna fix something on the car. The car's got 171,000 miles, and I've popped a DMTL leakage error on my check engine light. So I'm gonna walk you through and kind of show you how to replace this pump, and maybe show you possible causes that can cause it. So let's take a look. If we go over here to our trusty code reader here, I'll post a link to this, but I have another video on this complete item here. It's a pretty handy little tool. So we're going to diagnose 3 series right here, E92, E90, 91, 92, 93. Driver. Then we're going to do digital motor electronics, DME. Now let's see what we get here. Alright, going through this little like kind of self-check. Just hit back. Then we want to read the trouble codes, and I know I have 2 of them going on here. So let's see what we got here. We got a 2B62 Servotronic wattle strum. We'll address that in another day, but I know what that is, and that's probably from getting my bearings changed. It could be, could not be. I haven't really had a chance to take a look at it. And then we have this 27C3 DMTL leakage ergonom. Okay, so everything comes up in German, but the codes are still the same. But what this is, it's a DMTL pump leak. Okay, if we were to walk around here, I moved to sunny Arizona here. My house is a replica of this one. So a little bit bigger this time, 3-car garage. It's actually pretty cool. So lots of space. But anyways, let's talk about this pump. So the pump it's pretty much an emissions thing, and it's for your gas. It's sensing a leak of gas somewhere. You know, possibly before you dip into the DMTL, replace your gas cap. And so you see these cracks that I have in here, that could be causing a DMTL leak. All right. You know, having this many miles on a car, you know, maybe time to replace it. So I do have a new gas cap coming. It's not in yet, but the DMTL pump is here. So, but let me tell you where to replace the DMTL pump. You don't even have to jack the car up. It's actually under the driver's side, under this panel, right under here. So you're gonna have to take this shield off here, then take this off, and it's right under there. TL, it's a Bosch, and here's I guess a parent part number for it. So let's check this out. This cost $58 on Amazon, so I'll post a link. Okay, so when we look at this pump, we can see it's got some sort of like hose inlet outlet on each side there. We got a plug connection here, and this is pretty much it. This is an emissions part. I never even knew that this thing existed until it started failing on other people's cars. This is not just an M3 part. This is also a 3 Series part. So it's pretty much present, I believe, on every BMW. I'm not really 1000% sure. I didn't really research it. But this is a pump, and it sits under the car. I'm not quite sure how it mounts in there, but we're going to take a good look at this and get it swapped out. Okay, so let's map out the tools that we need to do the job. We're going to start over here. We have a 1/4-inch socket drive, 6-inch 1/4-inch extension. We have an 8mm deep well. You don't need necessarily a deep well. 10mm deep well. You don't need necessarily a deep well. We have a 3mm hex key. Then we have some lube here that you'll need for a little bit later, so I'll show you. Okay, so to find this pump, we are on the driver's side. If you look at this kind of aluminum plate here, that's going to be 1 screw, 2 screws, and 3 screws. So these are 8mm screws. If you were to pull this plate off, you'll see the DMTL pump is right around this area. So let's take it off. Okay, so we can see when we peel this back, we can see the DMTL pump is right here. Right here. So we're gonna take this panel off right here, which are another 1, 2, 3 8mm screws that I can see, and this will give us better access. Okay, so I had to turn my light on for this one, but there's a bolt way up in here. I got a long extension, but you can see it. Even this 6'6" extension is just reaching, but sorry, it's a little blurry, but there's a bolt way up in there, and I'm gonna get that one out too. So there's actually 4 bolts, but you're gonna need at least a 6" or bigger extension with a deep well or whatever else socket. Okay, so now with that panel off, and be careful. I mean, you might want to wear some glasses, or just be careful, because a ton of like little rocks and stuff fell out, and they can land in your eye, dust and everything else from this panel here. So, but here's our DMTL pump. Looks like we got a hose going here, the plug, and then where's that little hose somewhere around there. But let's get this thing out of here. I don't know if this has any gas in it or anything, but we're just gonna be careful when we take it out. All right, so let's get this replaced. To make my life a little easier, I took off a couple of these. These are these squeeze fittings, like you have on your intake and stuff. And then this goes like this. Just spun it around. Right here, just like that. It's held up by 2 10mm screws. So you got this one hose right here, the other hose right here that I took off. I just kind of put it off to the side. So one hose goes in that hole, another hose this hole. Hard to mess it up. So, and then there's another hose here too, right here. Can't really get that one off that well, but I'm just gonna let it dangle here. I'm gonna spin it around, because you got these screws that hold on to the DMTL pump. You can see they're heavily corroded, but it is a 3mm hex bolt after I got all the rust out of there. I'm hoping that I can get these off no problem, so I'll probably replace these and put something else in the way there. All right, I took the whole housing out because out of 3 screws, one of them obviously was jacked up. I couldn't use a normal Allen head to get it out, so I used my channel locks. You know, it's pretty typical if you work on anything car related. 2 screws came out just fine, 1 screw did not. Thankfully, it wasn't painless. I didn't have to yell, scream, throw some words out. But here's that grommet right here that this thing sits in. That comes with what I ordered. I should wait for it to come in, but this is the only day I have to do this because I'm just really busy with my new job. So I'm gonna take it out, I'm gonna clean it up and put it back in there. It seems like it's sealing pretty tight. It doesn't look cracked or corroded or anything like that. So I'll see what it looks like, but apparently I think I'm just gonna wiggle this, pull it straight out. Let's see. So that's exactly what you do. You wiggle it and you pull it straight up. In fact, you could probably just pull it straight up. This thing is in there. It's not in there, you know, that tight. But I'm gonna pull this grommet off here and then get the new pump in there. Clean up this grommet. You can see it looks pretty good. Got some, you know, kind of residue on it. But that's okay. It's not cracked. It's pretty rubbery. Doesn't feel dry. So I noticed that it has some white, like kind of like sealant, or not sealant, but kind of lube. You can see it kind of in there, right here. So this is for my Hayward pump. I have to replace the pressure relief valve on it, and this is the sealant that it gives me, or the lube. So I'm going to use this because I'm sure it's pretty much the same crap. So for the screws, I just found these kind of zinc oxide kind of coated ones. Hopefully they're BMW screws. They're probably used for something on this car, but I'm going to use them on this, and hopefully they won't rust. So, all right, let's put this thing back together. Put the new pump in. Okay, so you can see I've put the lube on there, and I'm just going to press this in. That's it. It's in there. Now the 3 holes line up here, and I'll put the 3 screws in. So you can see we have our 3 screws mounted in there. Looks good. Alright, time to put it back in the car. So you can see that we got our new pump installed and everything else inside the car. So I just I put these 2 10mm bolts back in real quick, then hooked everything up. Make sure that these snap. Okay, so when you push them all the way in, make sure you hear a snap. If not, they're not sealed. So which could give you an increased emissions error. So now time to put the plastic shroud piece back on here, and then we'll bolt the rest of it back up. So you can see we got our DMTL pump back in and ready to go. Now time to clear some codes. Okay, so we're back in the car here. We're gonna turn it on. We're gonna pop another check engine. There it is. All right, that's no biggie because you got to clear the alarm. So, where's my trusty code reader here? Let's see. Start this over again. Usually I'll unplug this, plug it back in. All right. Let it do its calibration thing. There we go. 3 trouble codes. All right. Like I said, we'll address the 2B62. I believe I do know what that is. And you can see we still have our leakage. And this means servotronic transformer current is what Wattlestrom means. But 27C3, we're gonna go ahead, go back, and we're gonna erase the trouble code. Okay, fault code is erased. Check engine light is now gone. And you know, like I said, it could be your gas cap, it could be the DMTL, it could be like a puncture in one of the hoses or something like that. Everything looked okay, except for my gas cap. So this fault code will not come back until after about 60 miles. So if I erase it right now, I need to wait 60 miles to try it out to see if it's going to come back. But my gas cap should be in by then. Actually, I'll probably put in 60 miles today, and I should probably know more today. But that is how you change the DMTL pump. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Go ahead and give me a like, subscribe. I'm going to start doing more and more videos like this because, you know, the car's getting older and we're getting some faults. So